Are you trying to generate leads on Facebook but frustrated because you're spending heaps of money and not getting a return on your investment? Well, I've been there too. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the different strategies that I've used to get great results. G'day, Ben here, co-founder of Max My Profit. We're all about helping you build the business that you imagine. So if you imagine having a business that was a bit more fun, maybe generated more leads on social media, then this video is definitely for you. Now, the first thing I want to say about Facebook advertising or generating leads on Facebook is you will need to pay to play. You've probably heard this before, but the first thing that I learned was that trying to generate organic leads on Facebook was a very hard and long road, especially in 2021. They've made it really hard for us to get good reach through our pages organically, and that's okay. I'm okay with that because if I know that I can pay for marketing and get a return on investment, then that's what I'd prefer to do. Now, you also need to be very strategic. So you may be saying, yes, Ben, I'm already spending money, but I'm not getting anything back. Well, maybe you're not being strategic enough. So in this video, I'll go through some of the other strategies that I'm using, or the exact strategies I'm using that I'm finding are working really, really well. Do not just go pressing the boost button and hope for the best, because then you're probably going to waste your money. Now, the very first thing that I suggest that you do when it comes to spending your money on marketing on Facebook is a little thing called retargeting. Now, if you haven't heard of retargeting, you probably experienced it. And it's where you might visit a website and then you jump onto Facebook and you see the ads from that company that you've previously visited. And you can do it in quite a clever way and strategic way. Let's say, for example, you jump on a website, you look at a product, you say, yep, I'm going to buy it, you put it into your shopping cart, and then you get distracted or you change your mind and you leave. On Facebook, you might see an ad that says something like, hey, did you forget something? You've still got this in your shopping cart. And you're probably wondering, how do they know that? You know, scratching your head. Well, the reality is that is very clever retargeting. And you can do just the same thing. You need to install a little thing on your website that tracks website visitors. You can track exactly what page they go to, and you can target them based on their behavior. So if they visit a particular page, you know they're interested about that product or service. You can then make sure the ads that you retarget them with are very, very fine-tuned to what their current needs are, and you've got more of a chance of getting those people converted. Let's face it, if they're on your website, they've probably got some sort of intent to buy. You just got to convince them to buy from you. Now, this leads me to my second strategy, which is also very targeted marketing on Facebook, and that is using custom audiences. Now, a lot of people don't know that you can do this, but you can take your current customer database or your past customer database or even a prospect list database, and you can upload that into your Facebook Ads Manager, and it creates what's called a custom audience. And then you can target those people based on their profile. So let's say you've got a bunch of past customers that have bought from you but you haven't seen for a couple of months. You can actually target those people with an ad that says, hey, we haven't seen you for a couple of months. Is everything okay? Or you can make an offer to them to entice them to come back. Maybe you've got people that you've done quotes to but they didn't convert. You can show them a different advertisement. Maybe you've got people that bought from you and buy on a regular basis, and you want to send them another message. So these things are called custom audiences. Now, you can build these audiences from databases, or you can build them from activity as well. So you can do things like if they've watched a video on my Facebook page, or if they've interacted with something on our Facebook page, or they've spent a certain amount of time even on my website, I can build up these different types of custom audiences, and Facebook then allows me to target those people based on their behavior and their customer profile, which is kind of cool, don't you think? So a very, very powerful way to use Facebook. Now, the next strategy that I love to do, because you might be saying, well, Ben, I don't have enough customers, I don't have any customers to upload. Maybe you only have a small group, and it makes it a bit hard if you only have a small amount of people. So maybe you've only got 100 on your database. Well, that's probably not enough people to have an effective marketing campaign. Well, the good news is Facebook will let you choose a lookalike audience. Now, that's exactly as the terminology sounds, is they will find people that look just like the people you uploaded and will let you target those people as well. So for example, if you have a couple of hundred customers that have bought from you, upload that database into Facebook and tell Facebook to target people that look just like those people, and it profiles those people, things like their age, their demographics, geographics, the pages that they like, the interests, the hobbies, all of the things that they do. Facebook is able then to find people that behave in exactly the same way and target those people as well. And it's a very, very effective way to market on Facebook. Now that I've given you those few strategies that I think are really, really easy, you may be doing some of those things. So what I want to do is now give you a bit of an idea as to why maybe your campaigns haven't been working. And one of the key reasons I find is if you make the commitment level too high. So if you're offering something on Facebook that is more of a difficult purchase decision, or you're asking for too many details, making them jump through too many hoops, then they're just not going to do it. Now, the reason for this is there's two types of marketing. There's solution-based marketing and there's interruption marketing. Now, solution-based is the one where people are looking for a solution. They're actually going to Google or going to a directory and they're typing in a search query like plumber in my area. They have a very high intent to buy. They're just choosing who to buy from. Now, if you have got an offer on Facebook and you're making them jump through too many hoops, they're probably not going to be that keen because they don't have that high intent to buy. Instead, what you're doing on Facebook is what I call interruption marketing. It's a bit like radio advertising or television advertising. The people that are there, they're there to be entertained. They're there to check up on the latest funny cat videos, for goodness sake, or check out what their family's doing, or maybe see how many likes they got on the muffin that they posted yesterday. They're not there to buy from you. So you need to make sure that whatever you offer has a low commitment level and a very high upside for them. So it has to be a very strong offer that's exciting, that stops them in their tracks. And if you can stop them in their tracks, you're going to get their attention. Now, the next thing you need to make sure is once you've got their attention and you've stopped them in their tracks and they've opted in for whatever it is you're offering, that you have a good, solid follow-up process. I see lots of people generating leads on Facebook, then they don't know how to follow those leads up. Well, it's like any marketing strategy. If you don't have a good sales process afterwards, then the likelihood of getting sales out of it is going to be slim to none. So make sure before you launch your campaign, you think about how you're going to interact with those people. What is your sales process? How do those people get from Facebook into your CRM so you can follow them up? How do they get to your salespeople? How do they get an appointment with you? How do they buy from you? All of those things you've got to ask yourself, right? So before you finalize and launch your campaign, think about the sales process that each of those prospects is going to go through. So the next thing on my list that you need to think about, and one of the things that I have learnt by testing over time, is that Facebook likes you to keep their customers on Facebook. Think about it like this. If you had customers on your website, would you want them going off to the supplier's website to look at maybe the wholesaler's website? The answer is no, of course not. You want them to stay on your website. Well, Facebook is absolutely no different. The way that Facebook makes its money is by showing people ads. And if all the users are driven off of Facebook onto your website, for example, that's not good for Facebook. So if all of your campaigns drive traffic away from the platform, the likelihood is it's going to cost you more and be less effective. Facebook is less likely to push your marketing if all it does is take their users off of their platform. So do your best to keep them on the platform. Now, the way that you do this is use some of Facebook's tools to help you keep them on the platform. Things like lead ads is a great example. Now, a lead ad is a form that pops up and self-populates with their details inside the Facebook platform and keeps them on Facebook when they opt in for whatever offer you have. You'll also see now that a lot of times when you have a website link, it will launch inside the Facebook application rather than taking people off the platform. Facebook are really doing their best to keep everybody on the platform. The good news for you is it saves you having to worry about setting up specific landing pages, because lead ads I have found to be the most effective way to generate leads on the platform. Now, the final thing that I'll finish up with is to test everything. It's really important, more important than ever, to test everything. The good news with something like Facebook is that you can make changes on the fly. Now, having said that, don't go making changes every single day. You do need to let your campaign sit for a few days whilst it learns and whilst it starts to get some momentum. If you change them too quickly, then you'll never ever really work out what's working and what's not. But however, you should be testing different things, different images, different copy, different lengths of copy, different audiences, different times of day, different geographical areas, different genders, all those things. You can test them all. You can test and test to your heart's content. In fact, there's too much, I think. But it is really important to have a look at what you're doing. Look at your acquisition cost per lead. Have a look at some of the click-through rates and understand a bit about what's going on with your ads. And if you can't get your head around that, then you need to find somebody to help you do that. Now, on that note, if you do need help to grow your business at Maximum Profit, we're all about helping you build the business that you imagined. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, won't you? Because we've got heaps of content coming out over the coming weeks. It's going to be really helpful, help you grow your business. Give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful. And if you want help, shoot us a message.